This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and William Hill. Delighted today to be joined with Johnny Nelson. We're here in Manchester, a rainy Manchester, but there's going to be fire tomorrow night as Savannah Marshall takes on Franchon Crews-Dezurn. A big fight, and we look very forward to it.
Seamless link, my brother, seamless link. Yes, I think it'll be a good fight tomorrow night. I think the undercard's good as well. Obviously looking and getting excited about the rise of Ben Whittaker on the undercard. Callum Simpson, that's another good fight. Zach Shelley, wicked fight. Looking forward to that one. They're no done deals here. And of course, Natasha Jones, the chance to go for the IBF title. But you know what? I think top of the bill, Savannah Marshall against Crews-Dezurn. That's a good fight. And it's an even 50-50 fight. Savannah's going to get her tactics right. If she doesn't, you know what, she's going to have to compete at a level that she doesn't want to compete at. She believes she's a world-class fighter, so therefore she believes she belongs at this level. She has the beating of Crews-Dezurn. She's got the boxing ability. She's got the strength now. She's up in weight. But, you know, it's about whether or not Crews-Dezurn can drag her into her kind of fight, because she does. Crews-Dezurn walks through her. She's strong, she's aggressive, she can punch. Even though I think she's only knocked 3 out of her 8 opponents out, but she's marauding, she's all over you. So she's got to be smart, she's got to be sharp, she's got to be on it.
And how much of this is a testament to Savannah Marshall? After the sort of Shields fight, she easily could have gone away, sort of taken an 8-round tune-up or a little up. She's in there with undisputed Super Middleweight Champion.
Savannah Marshall's learnt so much from the loss against Clarissa, and that makes or breaks a lot of fighters. I think that's made her. I think she's a very honest fighter that wears her heart on her sleeve. So she's not going to brag and boast about things she's going to do and wants to do and not back them up. So that hurts her. And so now she's trying to stick to the facts and say, look, I'll do what I've got to do. Stick to the game plan. It's quite clear to anybody and everybody. I'm quite sure Crews-Dezurn's team know this as well, that you've got to drag her into a dogfight. When she starts talking about, I'm going to take her on the dog watch, she's got to drag her into a dogfight. Because if Savannah boxes smart, boxes sharp, boxes strong, she wins the fight. If she deviates from that and starts to lean into the shots, you know, starts to lean to the right hands that Dezurn throws over the top, she'll start to get tagged, start to get ruffled, start to lose.
And another thing in the press conference yesterday, a very fiery press conference, but something that really stuck out to me with Peter Fury, him saying it, talked about the 50-50 fights, and they can bring something out of you. And do you feel like sort of we can see this with Savannah, where when you sort of get in the deep waters, and you know when you're swimming in the deep waters, you either sink or you swim? And is it sort of interesting to see how Savannah would sort of act when it comes up?
You've seen that she's not sinking, she's swimming, because straight after the Clarissa Shields fight, again she could have picked a soft touch, and nobody would have blamed her, but she said, well, why? I'm a world-class fighter. This is what I want to perform at. And she knows if she loses, she's no longer looked at that level fighter, she's looked at that below. That had hurt her. So she wanted this. So she's swimming well. As I said, she's grown a lot from the Clarissa Shields fight, which is what she wanted. She needed to be in a pressure kind of fight again.
And sort of from your experience, your pro career, when Peter was talking there about 50-50 fights that are really going to test you, do you think about sort of sometimes in your own career where you've had times where you've been so tested and you've really been pushed to the limit and you've sort of gone to a place where you never thought you'd go to before? Is that sort of, would you sort of relate to what you were saying up there?
Yes, I do, and I think emotionally, even in and out of the fight, especially after the Shields fight, that has taken her to an emotional place that she's never been to before. So now she's boxing Crews-Dezurn. She knows where she's willing to go to, what she's willing to do, how heartbroken she possibly can be, and how strong mentally she has to be. So it's given her a new experience that she was not aware of. That will be we've been making her in this fight.
Ben Whittaker's back out on the card. Someone that's always sort of gets likened to him when you talk about sort of extravagant, flashy. Someone like Naseem Hamed. You sort of spent a lot of time around him in your career. Someone like Ben Whittaker is a breath of fresh air. How important is it to have that sort of unique thing about him where you can fight, but you also, there's so much other stuff you can do as well?
You see, he's a great entertainer, and on camera he'll be whatever character you want him to be, because he has time to do that, because he puts the work in behind the scenes. So no matter how easy he makes it look, he's just making it look easy for everybody else. He works damn hard in the gym. You know, he commits himself. He's out in America training out there. You look at him condition-wise. What is this, his 4th, 5th professional fight? You know, he's training like a true pro. this is the habit he's picking up, because when his time comes to box at the top of the tree, to fight for world title, to go through the pressure fights such as boxing for the British title, Commonwealth, European, and going through there going to be more higher pressure fights now. So now how he handles it here, he's got to pick up the habits to take to a higher level. So this is all about learning, and it's all about design. He thinks, I want to be past this. So he's not looking past an opponent, he's playing the role and playing the role well.
But is it important to have that as well, where you look at sort of how much of a marketing engine the world we live in boxing today? You think sort of in sort of 2023, this sort of time where you have to appeal to a wider audience, and he sort of manages to do that in a way.
I suppose it's like Christmas pantomime. You know, everybody loves a villain, and everybody loves a hero, and he doesn't mind being the villain. He'll be distasteful. He'll be braggadocious. He'll be arrogant. He'll be cocksure of himself. Some people don't like that. Some people want to go watch him win or lose. So this is what he understands. He's investing in himself. He's a fighter that knows he can fight, but he's also a fighter that knows he's a business, and the business he's creating around him is working well for him.
And sort of, how quickly do you think he deserves to be pushed? If he wins tomorrow night, he gets another stoppage. If he does that, how quickly do you think he could look at guys like Azeez, Joshua Buatsi, them sort of guys?
So I personally think he should have probably 4 or 5 more fights to really establish who he is as a top domestic fighter. And then when he does that's proving something to himself, because it'll all be a test. You can throw him in deep because, of course, all the hullabaloo, all the noise around him. But I personally think he should get 3 or 4 more fights. And it's going to be hard. You're going to have to pay the opponents to fight him. You pay him high. But he needs to get that about his development. Sometimes you've got to lose a battle to win a war. I'm quite sure he can go in with those guys and compete massively. But he needs fight experience before he gets in experienced fights where he's going to be found wanting.
We'll sort of stick on the topic of light heavyweights. I just mentioned there, and 2 names I mentioned there was Joshua Buatsi and Azeez. Strong rumours of them potentially fighting each other. If that fight does materialise, obviously it will be under a Boxer banner with both of them signed to Boxer. How big of a fight could that be, potentially sort of very soon?
That's a massive fight. I really don't want to see that fight because I've got a lot of time for both fighters. But this is business. So business is, Azeez wants to be where Joshua Buatsi is at. Joshua Buatsi wants to establish and stamp his authority this side of the world to say, this is who I am, you've got to respect me. So that would be a good fight. I think these fighters have now put themselves in a position where the opportunity is limitless. They could fight each other and they know each other, but they are professional enough to actually to keep that separate. I would like them to see it go various paths and not fight each other yet, but that's a fight again. But it's a great fight. It's a great fight.
Obviously, that would just be a long list of brilliant fights that have happened this year, where we sort of see so many fights, Spence, Crawford, this and that. But obviously, the big criticism currently is always the heavyweights. And do you feel like sort of the lighter weights and guys like the light heavyweights, the middleweights, and everyone sort of fighting, especially in lightweight, everyone fighting each other? Do you think they're sort of teaching a lesson to the heavyweights, would you say? Yeah,
they are, but unfortunately, there's no individual to blame. You know, the heavyweights are embarrassing themselves by what's happening at the moment, and the other divisions are actually getting on with it, no nonsense. But who do you blame? Who do you point the finger at? You know, it's about one. But these guys, they're top of the tree. They earn a lot of money for what they do, and money talks. And it's show business. And the fighters want to fight. They're the show. The businessmen, they're the ones that want to make as much as possible. So it's the business around it that kills the show. So don't blame the fighters, because any man that puts the gloves on and gets in the ring wants to fight. Trust me, it's the business guys around them that they're the ones that are making the unpopular decisions in regards to their fighters.
So, with sort of that being said, would you say that the issue's obviously higher than the fighters when you think of sort of stuff like Saudi and the money, the purses that are getting put up? Do you feel like it's sort of like do you think the sort of the issues are above where it comes to money and all these sorts of stuff, where the big ones want to potentially plot in Saudi and have their big paydays there?
The Saudis created an opportunity for these fights that we want, the public want, to happen. So it's the businessmen behind the fighters that are the problem, not the fighters. And so that's where the issue lies. Individuals, unfortunately, our sport, individuals profit. So individuals look out for themselves rather than the good of the game, the reputation of the game. They'll forget about what tomorrow and think about today. And that's always been the case in our sport. That's the history of our sport. You know, greedy individuals profit. So therefore, fights don't happen.
Do you think it ever can be resolved?
We've thought a lot of things, and in an ideal world, yeah, but you don't know where these guys are. You don't know what they're at. You don't know what they're thinking, or what plans or surprises they've got in store. So you just got to wait and watch the story unfold, and watch the rest of the divisions, get on with it, and show it how it's done.
Johnny, always a pleasure to talk to Boxing Social. I appreciate you taking the time to speak to me, and all the best, mate. Top man, thank you.